What's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on for Mike here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Memphis Dynasty here on NCAA 12, featuring the Memphis Tigers. Man, we are 3-0 in this rebuild. We're off to a pretty good start in non-conference play, but the most important part of the season gets started, at least in my opinion. Conference play is really important, especially for us in a smaller conference like Conference USA. And we open up with a solid opponent. We go on the road once again, and we take on the thundering herd of Marshall. And Marshall, they're 1-2 so far. But that being said, they're a little bit better on paper than we are. They're a C+ overall squad, whereas we're C- ourselves. But Kirk Herbstreit, he's actually going to be rocking with us. He likes what he sees from our football team. He's putting some respect on our name. Now, and they also know that Marshall's only win is against an FCS team. We don't play against FCS teams around here, and we've pulled off 3 straight wins. So I'm trying to see if we can make it 4 straight wins in this episode, man. And I hope you guys are ready for some Conference USA action. And if you are, make sure you go ahead, smack that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. Let's go ahead and hop right into this thing and make this dream happen. Can we make 4-0? We're about to find out. Alright, boys, so Marshall may have had the football first, but we forced them to go 3-and-out on their first drive of the game. So now we go to work with our offensive unit, and we start with a nice run up the middle for William Jones, and he will pick up that, not the first down, but at least make it a pretty convertible second down for us to pick up, which we will with William Jones once again. That's going to be yet another 1st and 10. As now we throw to the right-hand side. We're going to get it out to our wide receiver. And we do end up making our way, force that incompletion, unfortunately. So now 2nd and 10, and we have some glitches going up against us, man. That was supposed to be a run for William Jones again. And we got bamboozled. We have been, just fooled. 3rd and 16 now we got to deal with instead. So good try to set up this halfback screen, and we do get some decent blocks, and William Jones makes a couple of guys miss, but it's not going to be a first down. It does, however, get us into field goal range. We'll get a chance to attempt this 47-yard field goal. Not an easy field goal to make, but Penny's going to hit it right down the middle, and we will start this game out. We will get a field goal on the board to get things going, and we'll take the lead. So now we come back out here with our defense, who did manage to force a 3-and-out on their first drive of the game. We'll see if we can have some good results the second time around, although their star receiver fumbles the bag. He drops the football, and now it's going to be 2nd and 10 here instead, as they'll try to run the football. It's going to be a halfback counter to the right-hand side, and it's a decent gain. Marshall, not one of those teams that likes to go no huddle, which, thanks goodness of that, that plays more into the advantages that we have on the defensive side of the ball. As we try to get them off the field on a 3rd and 3, they throw over the middle of the field, and it actually does get completed. So the thundering herd will march on across the midfield line. It's a new set of downs for Marshall, as they start this new 1st and 10 with a run up the right-hand side. And for now, it seems like they got a decent amount of yards there, but there is a holding called on Ben Smith, one of the wide receivers for Marshall. That's going to bring them back a couple of steps, as the 2nd and long after the penalty. Their quarterback is going to choose a scramble, and what do? we give up a massive run to a guy named Howard. That's tough. That is so tough. It's going to be 3rd and short instead. And Marshall, they might pick up this first down, but our safety comes in at the very last second and deflects that pass away. But Marshall believes in the same saying that we do. Scared money don't make any money. We're going to go for it here on 4th down. As Marshall looks over to the right-hand side. It's going to end up being caught. And that will be good for a 1st down. Marshall does strike again. And unfortunately, that big run that Howard Smith had set up that 4th down conversion. That's why I really did not like that run whatsoever. So their drive's going to continue. It's already been a pretty substantially long drive. As Howard will throw it over to the left-hand side. That's also going to be deflected away. That is Zach Scott. That is on the coverage. And another 3rd down for the Thundering Herd. This one a 3rd and 5 as we sit in nickel coverage. Howard has got a clean pocket to work with. Throws over to the left-hand side. It's going to be caught. 1st down for the Thundering Herd. As that is John Curtis that does make the tackle, but did also allow that completion in the zone coverage. And again, Marshall continues their drive as they continue to fight downfield. 2nd and 11. Looking over to the right-hand side. It's got the running back, and the running back nearly gets it into the end zone. A goal line situation ensuing as Marshall will take the lead here in the 1st quarter of action, finding Willis in the back of the end zone. And that's going to be a touchdown for the Thundering Herd. Just a substantially long drive. We're talking about a drive that was in the double digits. We find ourselves down. We're down 7-3. As now 1st and 10 after the Marshall touchdown. We're going to try to get back to work. We had a field goal on our previous possession. Could have been more if it wasn't for those penalties. As now 2nd and 5 coming up as Richards drops back the pass. Looks over to the left-hand side quickly. Finds the kid who does get a block downfield. And will be dropped right before we get to that midfield marker. But nice rhythm throw for Jesse Richards. And it keeps our offense on schedule as 2nd and 6 now. We go with the off-tackle run to William Jones, and William Jones finds a crease in the Marshall defense to pick up another 1st down. It looks like Marshall wants to press us downfield, so we're going to try to attack them with the 4 verts till it hurts. We try to attack them downfield, and it's going to be incomplete. We could not take advantage of the press coverage. And now it's 2nd and 10. As Richards drops back the pass once again, trying to throw over to the right-hand side, but just Richards misses his guy. You know, just threw it behind him. Nobody had a chance at that one. So now a 3rd and 10 coming up as we go back to the 4 vertical pattern. We got 3 receivers to the right. Richards dropping back. He's got some time. Going to look over the middle of the field and finds the backup fullback. Yeah, you heard me right. That is our backup fullback that's sitting in as a tight end on that particular play and creates a massive play downfield. How about the ball placement by Jesse Richards? As that is a heck of a way to end that 1st quarter of action. We do find ourselves down 7-3, but we got a really good drive of our own going as we look to take the lead after the end of this 1st quarter. So welcome back to the 2nd quarter of action here as we pick things back up on a 3rd and goal. As Richards lines up in the shotgun, trips to the left. Looking over the middle of the field. We got Washington, but Chris Washington cannot haul it in. Jesse Richards is looking in disbelief there. And they will go ahead. They will hit the field goal. The field goal will be good. And Memphis, they will not take the lead. They're going to be down by 1 still. But again, another good drive, 11 plays, 67 yards. Just couldn't finish when it mattered the most. So Marshall, they will still have the lead and going to try to extend that lead as well as they were trying to test Julian Jackson. But that will go for an incompletion. As now, 3rd and long. Marshall looking to pick up this first down. It's going to be a challenge, though. But Howard Smith, he's going to throw over the middle of the field, and his receiver fights through multiple defenders. And that will go for yet another first down once again. 1st and 10 coming up from the 30-yard line. As we'll drop back to pass, we'll get over to the left-hand side. It's going to be brought over, and it will end up being caught for yet another first down. Our offense is struggling substantially. 2nd and 12 coming up. Another drop back. This time it's as a screen, but oh, Zach Scott, you gotta pull that in, big fella. That could have been a pick six, but instead, we're sitting here with Marshall still having that football. It's going to be 3rd and 12. Howard Smith's going to be in the shotgun. 4 receivers. Looking around. Going to throw again to the right-hand side. And it's another 3rd and long. That's going to end up being converted. Marshall has been killing us. And I mean killing us with a substantial, with all these 3rd down conversions. And eventually, our defense, it is going to crack. And the Marshall Thundering Herd march their way across the football field, and they will score yet another touchdown. It will still remain a one-possession game. We still have that at least to look forward to, but that is demoralizing, especially when there was multiple chances to get him off the field. So our offense comes back out with a renewed rigor to get a touchdown on the board so that we can tie this game up. We'll see if our offense can come through this time, as we got yet another solid start to the drive as William Jones picks up a gain of 7 as we look to see if we can pick up this first down. And we do with the sophomore Duckett, who gets dropped at the logo. And listen, Jesse Richards is having a good game so far. 7 for 11, 106 yards so far. We'll see if we can get it 8 for 12, but instead it's going to be deflected away by one of the defensive linemen that actually moved back into coverage. So the incompletion leads to a 2nd and 10 as we try to run the football, going with William Jones. And William Jones, again, picking up that first down on the ground. He's been looking pretty impressive so far. But we'll go mix things up a little bit. We're still keeping it on the ground, but this time James Pittman is going to move on field and get himself a gain of 9. And another 2nd and short. This time, going with the play action. Got to play upfield, but we overthrew our guy. We are very fortunate that did not end in an interception. And again, a 3rd and short that we're going to try to convert on. Jones going to get this carry. Hopefully we can find some yards upfield. And we do, although it was very close. Extremely close for my comfort. We still do enough to move the sticks. So now, a few plays later, we do have to come across yet another 3rd and long. This time we go with a different 4 verts route. Richards dropping back, looks over to the right-hand side, and we had an open receiver. But the pressure that I thought we were going to feel, it got to us. And because of that, we made a big mistake. That could have been a touchdown if we made the right read. But instead, we're going to have to settle for yet another field goal. This Marshall defense has given up plenty of yards against us so far in this game, but they have been holding up when it matters the most. Speaking of holding up, we'll see if our defense can actually do the same thing. Down by 5 points now, as Howard Smith will start a new drive, and he'll look to throw over the right-hand side. It will be completed, and it will go for yet another first down for the Thundering Herd. As the Marshall fans, the Marshall faithful are really liking what they're seeing so far. As 1st and 10, Howard Smith is going to run with the football. He's actually in the open field, eventually brought down by Vince Tate. Except there is a penalty on the field, and thankfully, it's going to be called a holding. So that will bring him back a notch. 1st and 20 after the fumble that we just witnessed there. But then, look what happens on this option play. This receiver, he's going to get in the open field, and he's going to get the first down. So he can't take advantage of the holding penalty, and Marshall gets a massive play on the ground. all because we don't know a thing or two about how to tackle. Marshall, they were slightly better than us on paper, but one thing for sure, they are out-coaching us right now. We need to fix that ASAP, as Howard Smith will scramble once again. Can't get to him. Vince Tate will eventually keep him mostly contained, and Howard Smith's going to pay a price for that first down. He's actually going to be, looks like, holding his ribs. So the backup quarterback is also in the game. Also, his last name ends up being Smith as well. So definitely not brothers, or maybe they're brothers from a different mother. I don't know. But what I do know is that the backup quarterback briefly checked into the game, but the starter comes back in. The starter does come back in eventually on a 2nd and 10. So it must have not been that serious of an injury if they're able to come back on the very same drive. Is now 3rd and long. Here we go. Let's see if we can make a stop on the defensive end. Smith dropping back. They're going to try to set up the screen, and he gets dropped again. And this quarterback, he's down on the field once again. So we'll see if it's a more serious injury, since we've seen him down on the ground twice holding those ribs. But in the meantime, Marshall, they attempt an extremely long field goal. And I don't know what they were thinking, to be honest with you guys, because that field goal was well short. So now we have a chance to take the lead in this football game. Let's see if we can make that happen as we start on a 1st and 10. Richards looking over to the right-hand side. We get it out to Brian the Kid, who does shake one tackler off before a couple other Marshall defenders come in and, make a play on the football as well. As the head coach of Marshall looking on, seeing that his defense is holding, but how much longer can they go? 4 wide set on the right-hand side. Richards dropping back, looking over the middle. We find Brian Kidd again. And with less than 1:30 left to play in this first half, we are going to go right into a no-huddle. 5 wide set. Richards dropping back. Going to face some pressure. It's on the ground. Thankfully, one of our offensive linemen are going to recover the fumble, but a devastating turn of events, as now on a 2nd and long, trying to get something going downfield, but we take yet another sack. It's 3rd and 33. I mean, just look at how far we got to go for a first down. It feels perilous. Richards drops back, though, actually gets that pass off, and Marshall overplays it. Richmond gets the first down. Does Pittman get a touchdown? He does. Oh my goodness. Pittman scores. Let's go, baby. I don't know how we got this touchdown, but Marshall got too greedy, as 36 couldn't get his hands up. He couldn't locate that football in time, and he was playing the ball and not the player. That's going to cost him big time. But we don't go for that 2-point conversion, however. So, that being said, Marshall can still take the lead on a field goal. And one thing about this Marshall squad is that they are extremely willing to try and go ahead and go for long field goals. They really do believe in their kicker, even though that might be detrimental to them at times if they miss it, because that gives us really good field position. Obviously, I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing that out. And they're going to get another first down, another 1st and 10. Marshall is only a first down away from at least being in that territory of thinking of getting another field goal. We'll see if they go for that. They want the touchdown, though, so they're going to go deep. And that actually was almost caught. But thankfully, Julian Jackson came in and, got that ball loose before he can establish possession. So instead, 2nd and 10, where Marshall, they actually try another deep ball. This time it works, though. They go to the opposite side and get that to go. So 30 seconds left in the first half, and now Marshall is well in field goal range. Dropping back, he's looking, he's going to go ahead and find some space. Smith runs through multiple defenders. I didn't realize we had a locomotive in the backfield, because this guy right here, he is built for tough. Look at the guys he goes through. Breaks one tackle, breaks through our linebacker and a corner, and just abuses them, all three of those guys. And Marshall will be going into the halftime locker room with a 5-point lead. We got a very competitive game in our first game in Conference USA action this year. So now we jump into the second half of action as the Marshall Thundering Herd. We did start with the football, but unfortunately we did end up going 3 and out. So here comes our defense. We need to get a response from them as they try to set up the wide receiver screen, but it's intercepted. Zach Scott taking that thing back to the crib. And just like that, we take the lead. Let's go, baby. Zach Scott, way to make a play, big fella. And now we're thinking about doing that 2-point conversion, and that's what we do end up doing. We're going to go for it here so that even if they get a field goal, they can't take the lead on us this time. So, 2-point conversion. We drop back the pass on the slants. We need a little bit of time, but eventually someone gets open for us. So we take the lead. And what's better for us is that Marshall ends up going 3 and out. So we got the lead and we have the ball as we now go into the open field. William Jones makes a person miss, but I really wish that our lineman got that block out, because if we did, we could have easily taken that to the crib. But still a pretty good gain. I'm not going to complain about it whatsoever. As now, 3rd and long coming up once again. Richards dropping back. He's looking over the right-hand side. He's got a man open downfield, and it's caught. Did he actually get his feet in? I have no idea if he's got his feet in, but you know what? We are not going to risk it for a biscuit right now. We're just going to go ahead. We're going to go into no huddle, and looks like they're not going to have time to challenge this. Let's see if we can get it off, and we do. So that play will count, and we'll get a touchdown on the board too. Let's go, man. Might have gotten away with one. I have no idea. That was a great effort on the outside, though, because that wasn't the best thrown ball in the world, that go pattern. But Jesse Richards puts it right on the money, though. And we got another touchdown on the board. So, biggest lead of the game for us. We're up by 10. And now the pressure is on the Thundering Herd offense. As now, Smith is going to go ahead and run the football. He's going to take off once again. This is a really tough quarterback. Maybe not the most talented quarterback on the face of the planet, not even in our conference, but that being said, this guy can play. You know, he's a tough guy. He cares about his teammates clearly, as he has had multiple injuries, and yet he's still in this game, which, you know, just really shows the toughness that this guy has, and his teammates certainly follow him as they try to make this a 1-score game. But facing a 3rd and long, though, we're going to fake the blitz, but we do see that it's going to be a halfback screen. It's incomplete. And Howard Smith, he's down once again. Those bruised ribs have been a problem. Although it does says that he will return on the next possession. So, that being said, we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if it affects his on-field performance. That's the 3rd time that he's had to go down with an injury. So late in the 3rd quarter, though, we have a chance to extend our lead a little bit. We were trying to throw over the middle to Brian the Kid, but it was deflected at the line of scrimmage, though. And now we got a 2nd and 10 coming up as Richards lines up in the shotgun, hands it off to William Jones. Jones, following his blocks, gets hit from behind, but still a solid gain that allows us to open up that playbook here on 3rd and 4. Going to be a 5-wide formation. We'll see if somebody can get open for us downfield. Looking. We got a slant pattern. Open. It's Duckett. And Duckett is on the move and gets dropped at the 35-yard line. That's a 1st down for your Memphis Tigers. We'll see if we can go back to Duckett, though, as we try to set up a play-action screen. Duckett was open, but just couldn't get it over the defender. It was deflected away. So now, 2nd and 10 coming up. Richards again dropping back. He's looking over the middle of the field, but does dump it off to William Jones instead, who fights forward across the 25-yard line, and that does put Jesse Richards over 300 yards in this ball game. Could have been more if we made that completion. Oh my goodness. That was a touchdown. and the receiver and the quarterback just wasn't on that same page, unfortunately. So we now try again, this time doing a curls on 2nd and 10. You know what they say, curls are for the girls. So Daryl Martin does make the catch for us. The backup fullback gets us close to the sticks. And we're going to make some adjustments at the line as well. Washington, going to send to the corner pylon. See if someone opens up downfield, and Duckett had a touchdown. He had a touchdown, and he drops it. Oh, that's crazy. Putting up even points on the board potentially. You already know we're going for it, though. 4th and 1. We're going to see if we can fool them with a play action. Richards dropping back, looking over the middle of the field, and oh, he threw behind. We were going to have him come open. But instead, Marshall is going to take over. So we scored 31 points, and that's really good. I like that we scored 31 points, don't get me wrong. But we've left points on the table today. I'm just keeping it real, as Howard Smith will throw to the right-hand side to start their drive off. They're going to pick up this first down, nearly get to midfield already, as they're looking good on the move. Late in the 3rd quarter, though. This is the final play of the 3rd quarter. Howard Smith, he's going to drop back, looks over to the left-hand side. He's going to set up the halfback screen, and it will be a decent 6-yard gain. And that's actually going to wrap things up for that 3rd quarter of action. We got a very competitive game here in our conference opener. We are up 31-21 against the Marshall Thundering Herd. And I'm excited for that 4th quarter of action. If you are as well, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get those 4s up. So now our defense comes back out on the field to start this 4th quarter of action. And they'll pick things back up on a 3rd and 5. Smith is going to drop back the pass, looks over to the left-hand side, finds his receiver, and his receiver will do the dirty work. Knew where that first down marker was going to be. And that was Mark Harrison, who picks up yet another grab. He has 5 catches for 88 yards so far today. As now Smith will go back to the passing game. Going to try to go one-on-one, but Julian Jackson's got a beat on it. Surprised that that was not intercepted. But we will gladly take that 3rd and 12, though. And we're going to need that because Marshall, they've been effective on 3rd down. Does that continue? Howard dropping back. He's got plenty of time. All the time in the world. He wants to go for it all. And he's not going to get anything. Incomplete again. And it's 4th and 12. Marshall, they're going for it. We'll see if they go with some kind of vertical patterns. It seems like they do. Looking over the right-hand side, going deep, and it's dropped. Incomplete. And your Memphis Tigers are going to take over. So we come back at it once again with the white vans. And we take over at the 40-yard line, looking to break this game and put a dagger in the heart of Marshall fans here on the road. We'll see if we can complete that. Although we do face 3rd and long. Going with the 4 verts until it hurts. Richards drops back. Looks over the middle. He's got Brian the Kid, but Brian the Kid cannot haul it in. So an unproductive drive for us there. And we will have to punt the football back over to the Thundering Herd, who still have a little bit of life left, but they start deep in their own territory. But with that completed pass, they will at least get out of the shadow of their own goal line. As now 3rd and 4 coming up, as Marshall is going to move Lewis out to the right-hand side. 3 receivers, 1 tight end. As Smith looks over the middle of the field again. He's going to complete this pass. And that's good for yet another 1st down for the Thundering Herd. They've been getting a decent number of 1st downs themselves. As we will go ahead and send a little bit of heat here on this next play. See if we can speed up Howard Smith a little bit now. As Smith sends Lewis out to the right-hand side. He drops back. Looks over the middle of the field. He's going to try to complete this pass. And it's incomplete. And we got lucky with that one as well. Because Zach Scott, he looked like burnt toast. Because he was going to get beat on that one. Very fortunate that pass was not completed. But Marshall will still move the ball downfield in other ways. That's a completed pass for a 1st down. And Marshall was on the move. Yet another 1st and 10. Howard facing a little bit more pressure this time, but he's going to escape the pocket and is going to fight for the 1st down marker. He does not slide. I'm surprised that this quarterback has just refused to slide once he gets outside of the pocket. This dude definitely watches some hockey highlights, because I'll tell you what, this guy right here, he definitely watches his hockey highlights. He's a tough kid. So now, 2nd and 10 coming up. Looks like a read option going with the running back. And this running back's going to be brought down, but there's a penalty. Don't let this be what I think it's going to be. And it is a face mask penalty that wasn't even necessary. We had him down for no gain. We didn't even need any of that. Just a very undisciplined play there by our linebacker. And now Marshall with some new life again. This time, 3rd and short. Smith going to line up in a 5-wide set. He's going to drop back. We'll go to right hand side. It's going to be incomplete. That will be 4th and 2. And Marshall will be going for it, and they have no choice. Although, I'm surprised that they're not going for the field goal. I guess they want more than that. Dropping back. It's going to be another run up the middle of the field. And Howard Smith, who's supposed to get him? I had a spy. I literally had a spy there. And he still found a way to pick up that 1st down. That's crazy. And now a red zone opportunity late for the Thundering Herds. As Smith going to throw over to the right-hand side. It's going to fight forward. And I think we got away with a face mask there, because that animation usually means a face mask was occurring there. But we might have gotten away with one. 2nd and 4 coming up. Smith throwing over the middle of the field, but it's deflected at the line of scrimmage. Did almost get intercepted. So Marshall will come back out on a 3rd and 4. Arguably one of the biggest plays of the game for the Thundering Herd to stay alive. Smith dropping back, looks to the right-hand side, but it's going to be thrown away. They were trying to set up the screen, and it just simply was not there. And now it's 4th down. They've converted 1 4th down so far. Can they get a 2nd? Smith looking towards the end zone, but throws behind his receiver. And we will take over on downs. And that does put us in a position to run out the rest of this clock. As we'll start with a halfback draw up the middle. William Jones will get his first carry of the drive. And he's going to be hurt. He is going to be hurt. So Matt Turner will have to come in and try to ice this game. Turner runs downfield. He's going to make some guys miss. And now he's gone like a girl in a country song. Touchdown, Memphis. That should ice this game. That's the biggest run in NCAA history. At least according to, NCAA 12 record books. There probably been some bigger runs in real life. But, at least when NCAA 12 was made, we do have the biggest run. And now, 1st and 10 coming up. That's going to be dropped by Julian Jackson there. That will be a 2nd and 10. I wouldn't be shocked if they go no huddle here. If they can get some positive plays downfield, as they do complete that particular catch. And yes, this is what I was expecting. 3rd and 4. They're going no huddle. Looking over the right-hand side. Somehow that receiver comes down that catch. And I thought we had pretty good coverage there, but just simply wasn't enough. It looks like Marshall will have to do this without their star receiver now. He's down on the ground as well. They're having some injuries on the offensive side of football as well. But Marshall continues to move down the field. They are not phased. They're going back into their no huddle. Few plays later, it's a 3rd and 6. Smith drops back, looks to the left-hand side, but our defensive linemen, they are prepared for it, and we will drop him for a loss. So one more gasp of air for the Thundering Herd as they desperately need to score quickly. 4th down, though. Smith fires, and it's tipped away. Memphis will hang on and win this football game. Your final score, 38-21. And we end up winning our very first game in Conference USA action here in season number 2. And an even bigger storyline. This team, even through 4 games, is still undefeated on the season. So you want to talk about some good games? We had some good games across the board here today, starting with our quarterback, as Jesse Richard had another great game today. 17 for 31, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. But it was the running game that really, once again, stepped up. While William Jones wasn't too terribly effective with 20 carries and 79 yards, it was Matt Turner that closed the door shut on Marshall, including that touchdown that did went ahead and ice this game to start Conference USA action. Now, for the receivers, we only had one 100-yard receiver today, and that was James Pittman, who ended up with 2 catches for 117 yards, including a 72-yard bomb that we found a way to convert. Willie Duckett, though, led the team in catches today as the sophomore continues to step up. He had 5 catches for 52 yards, as well as that touchdown in the second half. As for the defense, it was a little bit shaky in that first half, but it really was clamps once we got into the halftime locker room. Tommy Myers led the team in tackles today. He had 5 tackles, 6 of assisted tackles as well. AJ Kaysen had 5 total tackles in this game as well. As for sacking the quarterback, we weren't very successful at sacking the quarterback here today. We did end up only getting 1 sack the entire time, and that was from Robert Bowen, who did get a sack. Nothing too crazy. Also, one of your customs did get in the game. Josh Mellows, the true freshman, did get a tackle. I wanted to highlight that real quick as well. And then Zach Scott had that interception that we were able to take all the way back to the crib. That 23-yard touchdown that gave us the lead, and we just never looked back after that. So pretty good complete game that we saw from our guys once again, and we still remain undefeated on the season. But boys, we go ahead and take a look at how things are going in recruiting right now, and honestly, things are not going that great. We were going after this 3-star outside linebacker, but we are going to lose out to him to an in-state school. He is going to commit to Vanderbilt. He is a hard commit as well. We did offer a scholarship as well. We were in the hunt for him, but just couldn't do enough to entice his interest. And that just means that we still only have 1 commit here in this first third of the season. I definitely need to step it up in the recruiting. But at least things are going great on the football field as we continue to find ways to win. We're still not getting any love in the AP Top 25, but we are 4-0, and we're continuing to look good. Next episode, we will have another non-conference game. We will take on Utah State. Depending on how things go against Utah State, we might make this a doubleheader. You never know. We always have that little wrinkle in there, you know, with every gameplay that we got going on, you know, trying to keep y'all on your toes. But, you know, next episode, at the very least, we will have the Utah State game, and I will also have at least 1 recruiting update for you guys once again. So if you're excited about this episode, man, make sure you go ahead and smack that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.